Yeah, but not professional night soccer. At least not that would be broadcast in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not really soccer people. The
You
U.S.
should be.
My wife and I are. That's pretty much the only sport we watch.
Who do you root
It was the
for?
only sport I played when I was growing up. But
She is
then I grew up and I don't exercise.
Chelsea
people.
fan, and I like Arsenal.
Oh,
The
you
U.S.
should be. Okay,
My wife and I are.
I can
That's pretty much the only
back you up
sport
on
we
Arsenal, but Chelsea?
Then I grew up and I don't exercise.
It's because they got blue jerseys. I like
Oh.
She likes blue
The US.
jerseys.
Should be. Okay, root for Everton.
My wife and I are.
I can
That's pretty much the only
back you up on Arsenal, but Chelsea?
Then I grew up and I don't exercise.
It's because they got blue jerseys. I like
Oh.
She likes blue
The
jerseys.
That would be. Okay, root for
Holy crap.
Something happened.
She
Oh,
could still be dead. There's no guarantee.
it could be a ghost.
Sorry. I thought I actually thought I was going crazy because my stream was up and I was hearing everybody 5 times.
That just means you have us up
Everton,
way too many times.
Everton.
Ah! Well,
No.
there was a noise.
Hello.
She's gonna have like no voice again. She's not gonna be able to talk for the entire time. It's just gonna be a picture that we're not even sure is there.
I can talk.
Hey, she's there.
You seem way more excited about it than Ruby is.
I'm excited.
Hi, Ruby.
Hello.
We missed you.
I missed you guys too.
Gerbender tried to kill you, but we
I
didn't
did
let him.
not.
That's fine.
I almost died again.
I'm not
That is true.
surprised.
I had more than one thought about jumping off a perfectly good hippogriff and trying to land on top of a manticore and duke it out with them.
Did we get to ride hippogriffs?
We did.
Yep.
God damn it.
No,
Actually,
there was
Illyria
only
didn't.
one hippogriff. No, we had the hippogriffs. There was only one griffin, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we did.
So
But Illyria didn't ride one.
yeah.
She stayed behind to scout the spire.
She decided to be sneaky.
Okay.
But there's a chance we'll be riding them again.
But with no thieves' tools, you weren't very effective at being sneaky. And I totally tried to throw down some thieves' cant for you to pick up some thieves' tools. But like my boysenberry raisins didn't pick up what I was throwing down.
Well, not only that, but he was like, I don't care what you say. I'm charging you 5 gold more than what they're worth. And Gerbender was like, peace.
Right. What else happened?
Oh.
Give me the Cliff Notes.
We fireballed bugbears. But apparently
We-
the bugbears were good
we-
guys. Y'all showed up eventually.
Someone called the bugbears the B word.
A bugbear.
And yeah,
And they didn't like that and tried to attack me. So I fireballed them.
they stabbed her in the belly, or shot her in the belly or something, and
I got shot.
she fireballed them. But it was in the middle of all these druids who were, kind of like, hey, bugbears are bugbears. You gotta leave them alone. And
and
we got thrown out.
my face is
We
melting.
left.
Yeah, you may have missed that.
Was or is?
Yes.
Currently.
You played Fallout. He's turning into a
What
ghoul.
happened there?
It's
We
the
don't.
curse of the armor, I think.
He decided
We're
to
not
change
entirely
classes
sure.
again. And so his he's no longer a warlock, and his god has abandoned him.
Mm-hmm.
He got attacked by some armor.
I remember you you got stuck in the armor,
Yes.
and we had a hell of a time figuring out who you were because you were invisible inside the armor.
Correct. So after that, and we decided
It's getting
to go
worse.
to the Druid camp. Yeah, it's getting worse. I don't remember. I think I was trying to talk to somebody, and Zen was like, "Okay, roll again with disadvantage." And I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "'Cause you're cursed." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm cursed.
Basically, Lucas can't make a decision on a character class.
Well, yes, that is one good point. But secondly, I'm also doing this for Zen as well, like keeping him on his toes and
Right.
messing with his judgment skills.
Uh-huh.
No, seriously, because I text him a lot, and it's like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Just to see where he. I'm not trying to get away with anything. I'm just trying to see, hey, what do you think?
He's totally trying to come up with an attack that allows him to disarm someone so that he can touch their weapon and rot it.
That is true. I was trying to figure out a way to do that. But anyway, if I take a level in fighter, I could do it. But I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Let's see, what else happened?
We talked to. I gotta get my notepad out. We talked to the leader of the Feathergale Spire Cavalry people.
Cavalry.
Cavalry.
Cavalry is a very different thing.
Yeah, I know. It's Canadian. What was that guy's name?
Same as Calgary.
Did you say Calvary was Canadian?
No.
Yes, he
I was
did.
Being stupid.
But yes, he did say it.
I just thought it was
Yes, it
funny.
What's Canadian anyway? Thurl. Thurl is the leader of the cavalry guys. He rides a griffin. We were talking to him about the druid encampment and the prophecy of the four whatever's.
And then you found the symbol that you tried to secretly give us, which kind of failed, but they never noticed, so it's okay.
Yes, it was miserable, and I almost knocked Mushi out by trying to kiss her and forgot that I had a helmet on.
Okay.
That must have happened like towards the end of the last session.
You
'Cause
were
I don't
falling
remember that
asleep.
one.
You were falling
Who's
asleep.
bad?
Well, no, because I was trying to play it off, right? I was trying to play it off as like a love note. So I gave her the note and I tried to kiss her on the cheek so I could walk out because the guy was watching us. But I forgot I had a helmet on, and so I hit her face with my helmet. Yeah, it was great.
It was real smooth.
And then she dropped the note because she can't hold on to paper.
But I stepped on it and covered it.
At least she didn't light it on fire.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a step forward.
So, and then
Yeah, she's about to light us all on fire. We know that.
and
She's wearing her black
Mommy.
today.
and Gerbender's gonna wake up to something nice, so that's good.
What are you doing in there?
No, I told you guys last time. I said I licked that paper and stuck it on his forehead.
I'm just making sure, you know. I mean,
Oh,
Wouldn't be the first time I've woken up with something random in my bed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know,
okay. I'm trying to figure
small
out
halfling head.
what
Heads
is.
or tails?
I have a note in here that says "Dragons for Feast." What the hell note was that from? What was I drinking?
That reminds me, I have drinks I have to get. I stuck them in the
Yep.
freezer a while ago, and I don't want them to explode. I'll be right back.
Where's your wine?
I'm gonna stick with my Not Your Father's root beer tonight.
Oh,
Really, really good. I have wine, but I'm gonna go with root beer.
oh, and we found out that the knights have arcane squirrel suits built into their armor that gives them the
Shit.
feather fall ability. And we discovered Riverguard
they're not-
Keep.
Secretly furries.
Yes. Secret squirrels. We found Riverguard Keep, and we believe that is... No.
When did we find? Seriously, like you guys did a lot of shit after I left.
Yeah, well, it was Mushi was talking with Thurl, looking through a telescope on top of a tower. And she discovered Riverguard Keep, which is one of 4 keeps that is in this mountain range. Yartar is a thieves' town. That's what he said. What else did I get? Bilsilmer dwarves. Some tribes. Oh, yeah, the Bilsilmer dwarves are an above-ground tribe of dwarves, which is strange. And I got Halls of the Hunting Axe. There's some kind of rare weapon or something there, or something. Yeah, that's what I got for notes. Oh, and that monks from the monastery east 20 miles, they brew alcohol, apparently.
Aloha!
Hello.
So, Ushi, how was Thurl's telescope? I heard you had some fun with it up on the tower.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I interrogated
No,
some
really,
people.
I'm perfectly okay not finding out. Not really a
That's fine.
telescope kind of guy.
Lothar watched from a distance.
Well, I had afraid that I would like disadvantage on my charisma check with the telescope and fall off or something.
Why would you use charisma to check a telescope?
You know, have my way
Well,
with it.
I'm not touching that one. What she said.
It's all part of my plan. All right, I got my next page of notes ready. Did you see the symbol that I drew up, Ruby? Did you see the symbol I drew up for our group?
No. Oh, that looks great.
I got another one that I'm working on. Oh, I wonder if I can pull that in.
He just
Yeah.
forgot to put the GTFO around the circle.
Oh my god, that was so funny. When did I call that out and you almost fell out of your chair? Was that when Illyria was climbing down the Druid Tower?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
GTFO.
I
Yeah.
climbed down a druid tower?
Long
Been doing
story.
it.
That's nothing. You were sneaky around a druid tower, and
You were like this close to being found out, and he almost had you drink your invisibility potion, and then like you rolled
I
like
think you rolled like a nat 20 on the way up and a natural 1 on the way down.
It was great.
and then a nat 20.
And then a
Yeah.
nat
to
20
get out of
for-
it.
Yeah.
It's
it was-
perfect.
You were extreme sneak. I wonder if I can.
You were kind of like, I don't know, like Penny and Inspector Gadget rolled into one.
Where are you? Oh wait, it's in an email. Gmail.
All right, so I kind of popped in the middle of that there. But were you guys catching them up on what they'd missed?
Yeah, what our cliff notes were from the last couple of days.
Best we could.
Best we could.
Yeah, apparently you guys did a lot of stuff after I collapsed last week.
Mostly
Still
just a lot of
alive?
conversing.
Mostly just talking, yeah, but they
Found out a
asked
lot
the
for
right
that.
questions.
some
And
wrong
we
ones.
can go on a tour on the hippogriffs if we want to around the area to get a better idea of where everything is.
On the vultures.
So
vultures, whatever.
this note and this symbol you found, was it on the Air Knights?
So I will say, Grubender has no idea. In fact, Grubender is currently in bed with this symbol that he's going to wake up to, drawn on a piece of parchment, basically stamped on his face, and it's this symbol, and it says "Air Cultists."
Okay.
And he's currently
Maybe-
in a
maybe
room
with a question mark at the end. I don't know.
He's gonna wake up and freak out, be like, "Who the hell put this on my forehead?" He's had such traumatic experiences. Say like ROM at the bottom of it. Freak him out.
And real quick, a little kind of housekeeping thing, I guess it would be. I was wondering what you guys think about essentially not having somebody else run your character when you're gone anymore, but just kind of doing the whole kind of alternate universe where that person wasn't necessarily with the party at this point in time. So that way, like, for the sake of like when Illyria rolled the natural 1 on her stealth, so Illyria doesn't die when Ruby's not here. Kind of.
Right.
That kind of makes sense.
And that way everyone can kind of more or less focus on RPing their own characters. And not have to worry about, well, what would Mushi do in this situation?
That works.
I'm okay with that.
That way, there's no possibility of someone dying when they're not here. I like it.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to keep trying to figure out what Mushi's going to do when she's drunk.
Maybe if we knew how long that spell really lasted, it would have worked out better.
Right?
All right.
Damn battle axe.
Last session, the party made their way to the Sighing Valley, whereupon they found the Feathergale Spire located inside. They gained access, sat at a feast that was being held for their 10-year anniversary since its establishment, and then they proceeded to join the knights upon a hunt for a manticore in the area. Mushi managed to get the killing blow on it, and she was rewarded with the leader Thurl Moroska's platinum ring that's ornately carved with feathers all around it. Several people did detect magic throughout the session last time, and there was no magical properties about the ring. There didn't appear to be any kind of magical aura affecting Thurl throughout the conversations that he was having with the party. He seemed genuinely interested in helping you guys to the best that he can. The party talked about having been to Scarlet Moon Hall and the druids there. They talked with them for a while. They talked with Thurl for a while about this, and he proceeded to give them information about monks who are known to wear a stone mask, very similar to the one that Lothar conjured up with his minor illusion spell.
Why didn't I write that
And
down?
he pointed them in the direction of the Sacred Stone Monastery. And he also spoke of another one of the haunted keeps in the area. The first being Feathergale Spire, second being Scarlet Moon Hall, third being Sacred Stone Monastery, and fourth being the Riverguard Keep. And he pointed out the Riverguard Keep to them because I can't remember exactly what question they asked, but they were kind of asking like any other kind of weird stuff happening in the area. And he was talking about as they've been making their rounds, flying over, they've seen more individuals kind of going in and out of the keeps, and it seems to be under repairs. Similar to the Feathergale Spire when they first came to it. And between Mushi and Lothar continuing to have this conversation with Thurl, they managed to get him to agree to a flight over to the Riverguard Keep and or the Sacred Stone Monastery if the group wants it in the morning. You were told that Thurl probably wouldn't be there in the morning as he would be out flying around making his rounds. And if there's anything that the party would need, feel free to ask any one of the knights that would be around the tower. He then proceeded to ask you guys how you would like to bunk up in the tower, whether you all wanted one room or as many number of rooms as you guys asked for. You guys said 2 would be fine. He pointed you in the direction of 2 rooms and on the same floor as the feet. And whereupon the girls went into one room, Lothar leaned in to give Mushi a kiss on the cheek as he dropped something at her feet, startling her, and proceeded back to his own room where he placed a sheet of paper with the same drawing, except on this sheet of parchment, on Grabender's face, he wrote "Air Cultists?" ? And that is where the party finds themselves not waking up, but at this particular moment in time.
And when I was looking through the telescope, which I'm sure I haven't had a chance to tell anyone, the Scarlet Moon Hall had 2 extra lights illuminating from it on either side of the tower. I don't know what that means yet, but we're going to find out.
And last thing, real quick. When the party was, when Mushi, Lothar, and Grabender were out on the hunt, Illyria chose to stay behind and kind of scout out the Feathergale Spire a little bit. And she basically kind of went room to room, seeing what's what. And I believe she only came across one locked door.
Yeah, it was second floor,
On the second floor, top right.
which is actually
On the map.
directly adjacent or across the tower from their room, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Across the tower and up a floor.
Oh, yeah, I missed a floor.
Wait, where is it again?
So
It's
real
one floor
quick,
above us.
I can move Illyria. So this is the floor where you guys had the feast. And then going up one floor, there's kind of the central spire staircase and the room to the top right on the map. You went to a couple other rooms and you found basically large bedrooms divided by a curtain wall, almost identical rooms on either side. Same kind of bed, desks, tables, and all that.
Okay.
So this is where the party finds themselves now. I didn't want to, we weren't really sure if everyone wanted to necessarily just kind of go to sleep in case there was any kind of snooping or anything like that anyone wanted to do who was gone at the end of last session. So essentially at this point in time, you can feel free to do anything of that sort.
No, I don't have any snooping that I'm gonna do.
I would like to inspect this note that I finally ended up picking up, and I don't remember if we did checks last session on if we knew if we would recognize what it would be or not.
No, we
You
stopped
did not.
right before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to try and figure out what it is because he didn't say anything about it.
All right. So you can roll me your choice of a history, arcana, or religion check.
That Arcana.
Yeah, I don't really know if I like my Arcana.
And the same can go for Illyria, too, since she's now looking at this sheet of parchment that she's got.
What was it again? History, religion,
History,
or...
arcana, or religion.
Oh, I don't have any of those, but okay. Let's go with... fuck it, who even cares? Let's do this one.
Hey, you're better than I
Alright.
am, and I had a +3, so...
So there's a strange symbol drawn on this piece of parchment, and Mushi, neither of you guys have any idea what it is about.
As per usual, I don't know shit, I just stab things.
That's okay. Well, then I am going to go to bed. Just gonna kind of shrug my shoulders and look around and be like, Okay, well, that's a lovely piece of paper. And stash it away, I guess. I guess I'll stick it in my pocket or something.
I'm gonna.
All right.
I guess I'm gonna sneakily go back over to Gurinder and pull the paper off of his forehead and sit back down at the desk. And I'm gonna start doodling out on the paper what I saw for the other two symbols and see if I can, if anything matches or Sherlock Holmes pulling shit out of nowhere kind of thing.
So, what time did we actually go, like, lay down to go to bed?
It was still light, right? Because she was looking through.
The sun was setting in the distance, kind of like torchlight was seen through the telescope, I believe. And that's kind of when you guys decided to call it quits from looking out like through the telescope at the surrounding areas. I think.
Yeah, I think Gravender like passed out before we went up, so it had to have been before that. So like I don't know, 7 or 8.
Okay, so I want to get like exactly 8 hours of sleep, my long
Okay.
rest, and then wake up with it still being dark, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be like what 4 in the morning ish, 3 or 4.
So real quick, I'm gonna send you guys 3 pictures. The first, that is the armor of the Feathergale Knights.
I want it.
The second
It's not very sneaky.
is the leader,
Say
Thurl
what?
Moroska. That's the guy who they kind of stayed up for a while talking to. And the
Fine.
third is Sabra Vellabranta.
What's that symbol he's got? No, sorry.
I had the same thought.
In addition to the armor itself, each of the knights has a kind of leathery looking flaps that a couple of the party members saw put into action whenever their vulture got taken out. They essentially had a squirrel suit that they used to fly back to the spire.
Who did you say the second guy was again?
Thorough.
The second guy, that's the leader of the Feathergale Knights, Thurl
Okay.
Moroska.
Is he single?
Wow.
You can absolutely ask him. He did bring up Sildar and his relationship with him in the past.
He also gave a ring to Miyushi, so
It's just a ring.
I won that ring, okay?
I think he gave
You're
it
the
to
one
you.
that tried to kiss me. I think you're just jealous.
I'm not. Oh wait, I can't talk to you. You're in another room. Shush.
I'm gonna be really bad at that. I'm trying. Okay, so yes, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna
Okay.
spend, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes just drawing out and just, circling them, seeing if they jive or something like that.
All right, Lothar, can you roll me same thing, your choice of Arcana, Religion, or History?
Oh God. Arcana. No, not gonna be that one. Alright, Arcana. Come on, baby. 21.
All right. So Lothar, you know this to be an ancient symbol for elemental air, used in some of the. It used to be used in some of the elder kind of elemental-based magics,
Oh, okay. Old magics. Got it.
old stuff.
Old magics.
Like,
Now, would that help me with the other two, or just that one?
help you.
I was kind of just going over all 3 of them, just to try to wrap my head around it.
So,
I mean,
Kinda
the other two
getting the-
told me, but I wasn't sure if I knew it for myself.
so knowing that you guys have recognized, at least one party member at one time or another has recognized the symbols for elemental earth,
Hmm.
elemental air, and elemental fire.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go off of their word for the other 2, thinking what I'm thinking for the air. Okay, cool.
Now we just need water and heart.
With your powers combined.
Captain Planet!
Captain Planet, he's the hero.
All right. So after Lothar takes a bit of time just kind of pondering this over in his head, he kind of passes out amongst his notes. And after 4 hours, Illyria is technically the first to rise. Or not so much rise as just kind of come out of her trance, her meditation.
Mhm.
But shortly after that, long before the sunrise, several hours before the sunrise, in fact, Grubender finds himself coming to consciousness earlier because he chose to retire from the feast and the conversation a little bit earlier than everybody else did.
I'm passed out at the desk.
So Grubender, you come to in the same room you passed out in, and you can see Lothar passed out at the desk over kind of not so much a heap of notes, but what looks like a madman's scrawlings.
Makes perfect sense to me. Sorry, should I have any inkling or indication that I was like drugged, or was I clearly just tired and went to bed?
Just, you were pretty shaken up after the flight on top of the hippogriff.
You don't say.
And so you kind of chose to retire early after all this talk that was continuing about flying up high in the sky and Mushi kind of prying for another flight over to these other areas. Grubender kind of chose to excuse himself to go ahead and pass out.
Okay. Well, once I wake up, I'm going to summon Silent O, because he hasn't been around in a while.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Illyria had a character. I almost fell off, or actually, I did fall off my wonderful flying steed and almost fell to my doom.
I'm proud of you.
And it wasn't Lothar that cast Featherfall on himself. He was saved by...
Assholes. I was gonna do it on my turn, so...
I know, but they beat you to it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was... and I had to go up and basically shake him and be like, Bender, show some draconian spine. Step up, man. He was over there weeping like a school. Shut up. Be a man. Dragon man.
Okay. I'm going to do my little telepathic connection with Silent O and have him go flying around the outside of the spire, kind of investigating, see what he can see.
Any particular direction you would like Silent O to head?
Clockwise.
All right. So you mean like just kind of around the immediate spire, or kind of the valley?
Yeah, actually around the tower, like flying past the windows,
Okay.
perching on the window, seeing what he can see inside the tower.
So why don't you roll me a perception check for, I believe it'd be for Silent O, unless he uses your perception.
Let me check his character sheet and I'll see.
That includes me as well.
This is for Silent O, the owl familiar
Yeah.
that
Oh,
Bender's
okay.
This is find familiar spell, right?
Yep.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, there's windows.
So Silent O is summoned up outside, and almost immediately one of these giant vultures just swoops right by. And Silent O, being a natural predator itself...
Wait.
Go
Keen
ahead.
sight. The owl has advantage on wisdom checks that rely on sight.
Thank you for that.
Oh,
So,
sneaky.
Silent O immediately
Again.
takes a path to dart away from the giant vultures, avoiding their sight, knowing that if it flies close enough around the tower, that the vulture's wingspan will prevent it from getting too close. And in doing so, Silent O just proceeds to circle around the tower. You said clockwise?
Yep.
So the first couple of windows Silent O comes across, it looks almost like a room identical to the one that Grbender and Lothar are currently in, except within the bed looks to be an armored knight. And
It wears armor to bed?
He wears armor to bed.
Wow.
Hey,
Weird.
continuing around the spire, the window reveals what is clearly the trophy/feasting room that everybody was in. The hearths continue to remain lit and illuminating the room, as Silent O can make out the numerous trophy heads all about the room. There is another armored knight still eating at the table, and otherwise not a whole lot of movement within that room. Proceeding round to almost the opposite side of the tower, Silent O reaches a third room, once again nearly identical, with another couple of armored knights resting in their beds. Before Silent O comes up to the window where you can make out Cassandra, Mushi, and Illyria all within. Cassie and Mushi both taking up the beds, Illyria kind of waiting impatiently for them to wake up.
Like, she'd be like going over her gear, like checking it for weak spots or whatever. Just like busy work.
Okay. When Silent O gets around there, I'm going to direct him in and like have him perch on Illyria's shoulder for a minute.
All right, so these are still solid glass windows.
Oh, there's glass in them.
There is glass.
Oh.
So you're
it's
going to
Harry
give
Potter.
Silent O a
Owl
concussion.
comes and hits the window and.
The
I was
only
gonna
real
say the same thing.
entryways to the tower were the large doors they had constructed for each of the stables for like the hippogriffs and the flying mounts. Down at the bottom floor, there was the entrance with the gate that you guys walked in at, and up at the top pinnacle was kind of open to the elements.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll have him like perch on the ledge where the window is, and tap a couple of times, then fly off.
Okay.
Illyria looks over and sees nothing because he's already flown off.
Just as I planned.
Goes back to her busy work.
Okay, so I guess up a level.
All right.
See what we see.
Proceeding up to the next floor of the spire, Silent O continues circling in a clockwise pattern. He comes across more of these rooms, similar to the rooms down below, but significantly larger. But rather than a wall dividing them, it looks to be merely a curtain, dividing almost identical rooms on either side. Several knights are awake. Some are heading towards their beds. Others are kind of looking over notes at their desks. Others are gearing up or taking the armor off. It's kind of hard to make out through the window, but they appear to be doing something to their armor. Some are kind of digging through chests near the beds, and continuing to circle around, Silent O can see Savra Vellabranta at one of the desks, scribbling something out.
Okay, I'm going to have him stop at that window.
All right.
Uh,
There you go.
is there... Can he actually see what's being written?
He cannot. Kind of from the window, from the angle that the window gives, her body is kind of blocking most, if not all, of the note. But he's able to make out that she is writing something at the desk, judging by her occasional arm movements
Mhm.
and just kind of the way she's sitting, just staring at this desk.
Okay. Anything in her room look interesting? Just, cot, storage
It looks-
closet, that kind of stuff.
Very similar in appearance to the other rooms about this floor.
Okay. I guess we'll just keep on going around and up.
All right. The next floor is the pinnacle of the spire. I know that over here on the picture that they provide for the spire, there's an extra floor, but
That's not really there.
actually one.
Okay.
Right.
That is not.
It's the missing floor.
Oh, 13th floor. Watch out.
I never saw anything that looked like Thurl's room.
Nothing to clearly indicate like the
Headmaster's
head
room.
now. Yes.
Yeah. Ah, stupid Dumbledore. Okay. I guess I'm going to have... Instead of actually making him fly all the way around, I'm just going to dismiss him and then resummon him back in the room.
All right. And after taking a moment of concentrating to dismiss him and then once again resummon him as a ritual, Silent O finds himself perched next to the windowsill of the room that you guys are in.
I'm going to... Because I specifically remember leaving the feast with a pheasant still in hand.
Yes.
So I'm going to...
A pheasant that was dancing at one point.
Oh,
it was dancing at one point.
We forgot Ruby. Mushi made
So-
his pheasant dance to try to cheer him up after the flight. And so it was
Wow.
He didn't even notice.
Nope.
So I'm going to take the formerly dancing pheasant and set it there on the desk on top of one of these pieces of paper and let Silent O eat something.
All right.
I'm at the desk.
Even better.
Is the owl right next to me eating a pheasant? Is that what?
It would
I would
appear
think-
so.
Oh God.
I mean,
But there are two
my view,
desks.
you appear to be in bed.
Well, I can't sit on the chair because it's in the middle. It's
So yes,
it's
I set it down like right by your head.
great.
All right. So after 10, maybe 20 minutes of Silent O just going to town on this pheasant, Lothar is woken up by the kind of rustling of wings and feathers right next to his face.
I'm gonna push my chair back. But what's going on?
Oh, don't be alarmed. I guess you maybe have not met Silent O yet. This is my familiar.
Hi. Your bird's not trying to eat me, is it?
No.
not a
Owls are
vulture.
not scavengers.
Hmm.
He's eating the pheasant that I brought with me from dinner.
Okay.
What are all these papers you've been, sleeping on? And that one looks a little wet. You may have drooled.
I'll grab that one, which is probably the one that's got all the notes on it. Brush off whatever crap is on it and say, Grabender, I think this symbol here, and I'm going to point at it to him, and I think this is the symbol, the ancient elemental symbol of air. Like the other two, the fire and the earth, and I'll point to them. I pulled this symbol from one of the knight's brooches that was holding his cape.
Excuse me.
I think the knights might be part of the trouble from this elemental person.
You think so? They've made no aggressive moves against us.
This is true. But when we were flying about and the gnolls were down there in their territory, they didn't bother to take care of them. Why not? It's just like the fire, the so-called fire druids or whoever they are. This Scarlet Moon? Scarlet Moon? Is that right?
The red squirrel people.
Yes.
Yes. Those guys
It's
would
fox,
let-
not squirrel.
would let bugbears into their camp.
You may have a point.
They have domain over this whole canyon, yet they're letting these creatures run around, terrorizing. Doesn't make any sense to me. They could wipe them out in an instant. They have the high ground. They have air superiority.
They have better air?
Yes. They have control over the air space.
They have the high ground.
I said
That's
that.
what you're trying to say.
I said
You're
that
saying
earlier.
you're saying you've seen them control the air? Then
Yes.
clearly they are the cultists we're looking for.
Yes.
We may not be safe here.
No, but this is the same problem that
God.
we have with the fire
Do you think they
druids.
poisoned us?
No, you'd be dead already.
Oh, okay. I did eat a lot.
You ate quite a bit, my friend. But what I'm saying is, it's just like the fire druids that are up on the hill. We can't keep running from these problems. We're gonna have to find more information. Because I don't know if they just picked up the symbol somewhere, or if they're actually involved. But we need more information, and if they are working with these cultists, or they are the cultists, then we need to take care of them. We can't keep running from this.
No, I agree. Can we kill the fire druids first?
Yes. But
Either them or the earth people. But I'm really still quite angry at those druids.
I agree. Hear me out. If these knights are of the air cult, would it not be better to get rid of a group of people that could attack us from the sky? What if the air and the fire guys are working together? We would be trapped on two different fronts. If we were to take these air cultists out here, we would have this whole tower to ourselves. We would have a place to fall back to.
At this point, you notice that Kerbender is, like, actually almost filing his claws with his teeth. It's like a nervous tick he has.
Hmm.
I really wish I don't know what to make of all of this. I know that I saw Illyria. She was awake. Perhaps we should ask her.
I agree. This is all speculation. But too many things are adding up.
As soon as he says, I agree, I'm making for the door.
All right.
Tactfully, Gerbender. And I'll walk with him.
All right. And within a matter of seconds, you guys find yourselves at the door that the girls are in.
Would we be waking up yet, or are they
No.
waking?
Oh, you're about to wake up.
In the meantime, as Illyria is kind of giving the once over towards her gear and preparing herself for the day, both Cassie and Mushi find themselves waking up.
How do we mad if like they woke us up at like 7 hours and 55 minutes and I've lost all my spells?
You don't get a long rest.
Oh, by the way, did I get my long rest?
Yes.
Okay.
And
So anyone who has expended healing dice, you gain half your level's worth.
I think so.
I don't think anybody did last.
No, I don't think I didn't
Not
roll
possible.
the healing dice.
No. Mainly my spells
And-
back.
And by the time I wake up, I almost couldn't sleep, but well, I thought I sleep too much because I had a huge dream about my father along with mother. For those flashbacks or having enjoyed and happy together, and right before I was born. And I woke up. End of story.
All right.
Okay. So I am waking up, kind of stretching. Nice, refreshing, long sleep. I'm going to sit up and look around, see Illyria is already awake.
I'm also stretching myself too.
I am going to assume that this is when Lothar and Gerbender are opening the door.
They better be knocking first.
Dunk, dunk,
Okay.
dunk,
Yes.
dunk.
Unless there's anything that you wanted to accomplish before they come into the room.
Excuse me, I'm hiccuping.
I can't remember from last session. This view of the window, what, like, area, what could you see outside the window? Like,
So
could you
it's
see?
to the west. So it's overlooking the entryway that you guys came in.
Okay. I guess I will look out the window, just kind of gazing off in the distance until someone knocks on our door.
I'm looking at the window too.
All right. So presumably, you guys hear a knock at your door.
Yep.
Oh, I did not expect that.
Oh, wait. I guess I can actually move my character out of the door, right?
Illyria
Nope.
will go and open
Nope.
the door.
Nope. I can't get out.
Of course.
You're locked in there.
Ah!
They found out our plan.
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah.
So Larry, you open the door, and Lothar immediately throws himself in.
Christ.
Sorry, the
Back up.
door was stuck. I'll come over here. Like Gerbender.
And I'm going to dig into my pocket or pouch or wherever I stuck the note and pull it out and kind of look at him and be like, what does this mean?
I'll bring Gerbender in and close the door behind me.
All right.
I believe that is the sigil of the air elementals. Or rather, the sigil of the ancient air elementals. Or plane, whatever. It's similar to the one that's on your hand. And the one that we
I
saw
never
on
showed you that.
You told me about it. The one that's on your hand and the one that was on the cask in the camp. I believe this is the air symbol. And I got it from one of the Sky Knights.
Yushi, real quick, who in the party have you shown your hand to?
I know for sure I showed Illyria and Gerbender, and I also told them the dream that I had before I got the symbol, but apparently I just told Lothar about it. So I did assume at one point that he saw it, but then he said he wasn't being a creeper and watching me while I slept.
You told
So-
me
I
you
know-
had something on your hand. So
I know I recognized one of the symbols. I just couldn't remember which one.
I think you recognize the Earth one, but I believe Yushi said
Oh, I
that
got the blanket on.
the symbol on her hand is the same as the obsidian shard had in
Yes.
Thunder Tree.
Yeah, so I think you recognized the earth one, but I told you about the fire one.
Okay.
So we know about both of them now. And we're just assuming this one is the air one, considering they're flying creatures, I guess.
Well, this is what Lothar's telling you.
Yes.
yes.
So did I miss anything?
No.
Everything.
We came into the
last
room.
round of combat.
Came into the room and we're discussing about the paper quietly,
And the door is shut.
and the door.
Yes.
Well, I totally brought Silent O with me.
Now that Gerbender's in, I'm gonna come back and step in front of the door,
He's now perching.
so that way I can keep one ear towards the door just in case if somebody's going.
All right.
And he's gonna knock twice on the window. Yeah, just because.
Okay.
Does your owl have an 8 intelligence too?
Actually,
It's rude.
my owl has a 2 intelligence. Thank you very much.
Then it totally makes sense. Yeah. Sorry. That was completely out of character. We're talking numbers. Anyway,
Okay. Where were we?
what do you guys think? I think this is the air cultist symbol that we're looking for. It's one of 4. We have 3 now.
I suppose we really need to start deciding what these symbols mean. Other than the fact we know of these prophets, I suppose it would be a good time to start trying to put the puzzle pieces together to figure out what we need to do.
Agreed.
If we wish, we can still have a tour flying over the. God, what was it called?
Over the Desserin Valley.
Over the Desserin Valley,
That's the
and
name
they
of the
were
overall area.
and
yes.
they were more than happy to point out the River Guard keep to us, along with the monastery filled with the monks, if we so wish.
Can I pass?
No.
I have a question for Gravender, out of character. Do you get sick? Do you get sick watching out of Silent O's eyes too?
No, I didn't
It's
get
an honest
sick.
question. Well, no, I mean, I'm honestly just like curious. Like, I know you didn't get sick, but you were frightened. Do you get frightened, like, if you were to look down, like being that high up by the spire?
No, because I know I'm not on a bird that can fall out of the sky at any moment.
We were on birds, technically.
Owls are meant to fly.
Exactly.
Dragonborn are not.
I have an out-of-character question for
Yeah.
Ben. Is that a folded-over blanket that you're wearing, or is that an untied bikini top? Because I genuinely can't tell.
It's a blip.
Okay.
It did kind of look like one of those 50s bikini tops, didn't it? Oh, goodness.
I love this group. It makes my life.
Wanted to be sure.
No, I didn't randomly get a bikini top to warm up.
He just wanted the sun-kissed skin look.
It is Snowmageddon down here, so it's
God,
quite
I wish
chilly.
it would be Snowmageddon over here.
We just
High
had
this week
ours
is like 80.
last week. Was it last week? Maybe 2 weeks ago.
It
we
just
had,
started snowing like crazy here today.
Yeah, we had
It's gonna be 80 degrees tomorrow.
we had 40 inches of snow like a week
It's
or 2 weeks
ridiculous.
ago.
I don't have snow in Mississippi. Well, even though I don't like Mississippi very much because we didn't get a lot of snow, even though I miss snow very much. While I was used to live in Kentucky.
Okay, so what's our plan for today? What are we doing?
I think we need to find some concrete information about who these knights actually serve and what their true
Lothar seems
intentions
to.
are.
Well, yes, but if this is the cultist, like, castle, they've already let us inside. We could kill them all and be rid of the air cultists.
Just because they have this symbol does not make them a bad person. Look at me, for example. I don't see myself as a terrible person. I wouldn't say good,
Are you
but I'm not
talking
terrible.
about the horns or the symbol
Yes,
on your
but you're
head?
not a cultist.
Then do we know if the symbol itself, it just stands for the elemental element, right? There's not necessarily any good or bad connotations attached to it.
Right.
Okay. So,
Although the symbol for the Earth one was carved into the adventurers' foreheads.
right, but that doesn't mean
But,
the symbol
yeah,
itself is
exactly.
bad. It could have been subverted.
Aside from knowing that it means the elemental element, you guys haven't really gathered anything further about its meaning.
Oh, what kind of elemental spells or magic do you mean?
It's just a
Well,
We're just talking about the
symbols.
symbols that we found.
Oh, okay.
It represents an element. The symbol.
And is that okay? I can cast the Druidcraft, make a little flower on the desk.
Sure. So as the party's kind of discussing what they're planning on doing today, Cassie steps over to the desk, places her hand upon it, and when she removes it, a small little flower is blooming.
And I smiled.
Charming.
As I was saying to Grubendo just a few minutes ago, I have my suspicions about these knights because they are allowing gnolls and other creatures to run rampant in their territory. With no qualms, they don't care. And I was telling him that they have all the tools and the ability to wipe them out of their territory, but they won't.
Didn't
Very
they
suspicious.
also say that they had to clear the knolls of this tower, and they've only just recently finished working on it? So maybe they haven't had the chance to go over and...
Well, what's his face has been here for... Didn't he say years?
This was their 10-year anniversary.
Oh,
They've been
10
here
years.
for 10 years. Only in the last 3 months have the elements been drastically changing. So, my question is, like with the Druid camp, something seems fishy. It doesn't make sense that these protectors of the realm and all things good and yada 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 does not make sense that they would let evil run in their camps and in their territory. Especially for hunters like these folks.
I do not know what to make of all that we have seen and learned so far.
We
I'm
could...
afraid the people of Red Larch are in the most immediate danger. Monsters have already come out of the ground to attack them. Cultists are running their streets. Surely, if we have no more information than we possess right now, we can still help them.
To see if these Spire people have a quarrel with these gnolls, we could challenge them to a sort of competition like we did with the... What was that thing? Thing with the spikes? The Manticore. And, you know, we did notice, or was it just Lothar, or did we all kind of notice the gnolls running around down by the river?
So Grubender is the only one that took note of the gnolls. Lothar and I think it might have just been Mushi actually, who spotted kind of distant figures running to and fro.
Well, we could challenge them to a friendly barter as to who can take out the most gnolls in the area. And if they decline, then we'll know that they are on their side. But if they agree, maybe we can find common ground and we can make the alliance we came here to search for. And we can kill stuff.
But what sort of prize could we offer?
I have not thought that far yet.
It doesn't necessarily
Clean lands.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a prize. It could just be a friendly competition who can get the most Nolkens. heads. Gnolls are not something that you boast about when you kill.
No, but they would be, I would assume, greatly appreciative of us offering to help clear their canyon for them.
Bing bong, bing bong, bing.
Agreed. But is that the only test that we have for them? Is there another way that doesn't necessarily, I don't know, can we do this with talking instead of trying to find a combat situation?
We could. However, I have none in mind at the moment.
If we could somehow put a decoy in their ranks, somehow see if we can get friendly with one of the knights. If they are occultists, we can show interest in joining such a cult to see if they get any information, give any information from that.
But we have already told their leader that we are here to fight against the rising tide of evil.
Yes. But it might not be the leader that is causing all this. Who knows? I mean, it could just be his underlings that are using him. It's very complicated the way evil minds work. All I know is I saw the symbol on a knight and not on Thurl. The knights are the ones that are blatantly using the symbol. Those are the ones that I would want to get in with. The lower folk. They're not going to be as political.
How would you propose you do that, or we do that?
Somehow putting it that you would like to join the cult. I don't even know what these cults want.
Consider just asking them what the symbol means.
We could do that too. It's simple enough.
That's such an in-the-box question, we never even thought of it.
Why would you waste time trying to untangle a knot when you can just cut it?
But if you cut the knot, you have half a rope.
Maybe you only need half a rope.
We need information. I mean, either way. I'm all okay.
Why are we talking about
They
knot?
have been they have been more than willing to discuss any other questions we've had with them. I don't see why they would have an issue with us asking this question as well. Let's try it.
I have already spoken to one of the knights. I can try speaking to another and just, I guess, seeing what he knows. Maybe press this subject a little bit harder.
We know Thurl is out of the spire. However, is the woman as well?
No.
What was her name?
She's up in a room, right?
I don't remember her name. But if she's here, I'd like to go straight to her because she seems to be second in command under Thurl. And if she doesn't know anything, I would suggest going to the knights, or we can just divide and conquer and ask around separately. See if we can get combined information.
As of a few minutes ago, Savra was in her room writing. Perhaps we should. But if we think it best to talk to her, then shall we go?
I believe anyone would be best to talk to at this point. We know near nothing of anything.
Gudbender, how do you feel for some breakfast?
I could eat.
Ladies, why don't you go talk to the second in command, and we'll go talk to the knights down in the banquet hall.
And I nodded. Okay. Well, we can do that, right?
Sounds like a beginning of a plan to me.
All right.
If we're in trouble,
let's-
I will scream very loud.
You could always send Silent O to find us.
Assuming you have time to scream.
I can scream quite loud. Very
you
quickly.
have time.
I have time. I will make time. Anyway, Grbender, let's go get some pheasant. That sounds delicious this morning.
I can't get out of the room.
Stand by.
There we
He
go.
ate too much.
You ate too much.
Yes, I eat too much too.
Okay, so I'm just gonna split and head down towards the banquet hall.
All right.
Good morning, friend.
So, Grbender, as you make
hello.
your way to the table, you see a variety of foods different from the food that was available at the feast yesterday. You can see a variety of acorn breads, rye biscuits, millet breads, artichokes, a couple of varieties of sausages prepared up, and what looked to be eggs, large quantities of eggs, various sorts. Lothar, as you make your way around the table, you notice that Jondar is sitting at the table, one of the knights that you questioned.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that the same knight that I talked to up on the top?
That's the
Hold on,
same
hold
knight
on, guys.
you talked to.
I gotta use the bathroom. Hold on.
Okay.
Be right back.
Let's see, what side? I'm actually gonna be on his left because I'm right-handed.
Okay.
And,
So-
I'll hit him on the shoulder. Morning, Jondar.
Morning.
Looks
I take it the two of you rested well?
Oh, he did
Yes,
for sure.
yes, very well.
I didn't get a wink of sleep. His snoring was unbearable.
I do not snore.
You should have heard yourself last night, my friend.
If I snored, I would know it.
You were peeling the paint off the side of this castle. Wait, is there paint in this time period? I don't know. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Sometimes I sharpen my claws in my sleep. I don't.
so that's what the clacking noise was.
Jondar kind of, his glance kind of continues to go from one to the other of you as this conversation continues, before his gaze drops back down to the plate in front of him, and he kind of mumbles, kind of a little bit under the breath, "You better not have ruined my pillow."
You were in his room. Trust me, the pillow is fine, and if it is damaged in any way, I can fix it. I have a thing for that. Anyway,
That is that. What is that small greenish thing on your plate?
And he kind of points to a couple of different things before his finger rests upon the artichoke.
That what? I have never. It looks like a fleshy pine cone.
Says, "Oh, Thurl gets imported foods from all over the countryside. Various farms and settlements we have helped at one point in time or another. I personally don't have much taste for these vegetables, especially after such a marvelous feast as we had yesterday. But you're more than welcome to help yourself. The artichokes.
Is that even edible?
So some people think it is.
I think I should pass.
Oh, you don't want one?
No, I believe I will have the sausages and the eggs.
I'll
I want to get like a big mound of eggs.
I'll take the artichokes.
So, Jondar, tell me, what do you do here when you're not hunting manticores and other fantastic beasts?
Well, I'm sure as you guys gathered after talking with Thurl, we mostly just kind of fly around a bunch. I think he mostly just kind of trying to relive his glory days.
Mhm.
You know, that guy used to be with the Mounted Griffin Cavalry, Waterdeep, back in his heyday.
Really?
Yes, he mentioned such. But I could not help but notice as we were hunting yesterday, when I went to retrieve the manticore head, there seemed to be gnolls in your valley. Do you not go out and exterminate such creatures when they appear?
And you can visibly see his eyes roll as he says, yeah. Sadly, they've kind of been growing in number lately, and we're more or less hoping to keep them at bay, but should their numbers grow any larger or approach the tower any closer, I'm afraid we're going to have to make some kind of a move against them.
They do breed like rabbits, don't they?
You're telling me. And the worst part about it is there's nothing of value on such gnolls. You can't mount their head as a trophy because it'll just start to stink up the entire place. You can't sell their pelts for shit because of all the fleas they got. It's ruined the whole coat.
Exactly. I agree completely. And where's the honor? There's no honor in killing a gnoll.
There is plenty to be honored to be had in ridding the world of evil.
And he raises his glass to Grubender. He says, well, I can agree with that.
Mm.
There may not be much glory, but there is honor aplenty.
He takes a big old gulp.
I agree completely, Gravenda. Good point. Good point. So, what kind of errands do you have to do today?
Well, today I plan on sleeping in my bed now that you guys have vacated the room, and now that my watch is over.
I do apologize. I was just directed to the nearest bed. They did not tell me it was yours.
Says, as long as your claws didn't ruin anything, I don't suppose we have a problem.
They did not. I'm gonna... Oh, go ahead.
I generally do not have any problems when sleeping on these soft things that you put in your beds, but if Lothar says that I was peeling paint, I don't know. Maybe I was doing something in my sleep.
Gravenda, it was a figure of speech. Don't worry about it. What's this guy's name again? Juntar?
Jontar.
Juntar.
So what of you? What of the likes of you? I believe there was mention of somebody needing a ride over the Deseret Valley.
Yes, I think a few of our lady compatriots were wanting to go on a peaceful fly around the valley. Us, on the other hand, Gabender and myself, I think we want to keep our feet on the ground for a little bit longer.
Says, what do you mean a peaceful flight?
Sightseeing, looking around. It's not very often that we get to fly on such marvelous creatures.
He says, as opposed to what?
Walking.
And he kind of shrugs his shoulder, I suppose so.
She has a thing for heights anyway. The ones with the horns. She likes heights.
Well, you have to be a little mad to want to go back up there again and again.
Trust me, I'm quite mad. I had half the mind to jump off my hippogriff and jump right on that manticore and take him down by myself.
Yes, it seems that you weren't too keen on staying on your hippogriff as it were, anyways.
This is true, but that wasn't my fault. I did not account for the full assault of that manticore.
And just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Says, I suppose.
So, Jandar, I cannot remember. Were you at the feast with us yesterday?
Says, yes, I was. I was seated right over there. And he points to another chair.
Yes, of course. You may have heard us speak of the cultists that we have been encountering in different parts of the region. Have you heard anything of them? We seek to stamp out any evil that is rising in this land, and these gnolls that are starting to overflow your valley may simply be a symptom of some larger problem. We have already faced Earth cultists in Red Larch. Do you know where these things may be coming from?
And he just kind of shrugs his shoulders and he says, I've heard nothing of any cults, so to speak, but Thurl mentioned that you lot have run across several groups of cultists, and that you believe them to be gathering up at the Scarlet Moon Hall, and you believe that the Sacred Stone monks may have something to do with it. Is that correct?
I do not know about these monks which you speak of, but certainly we have seen strange things at the Red Fox Hall Scarlet Place.
He says, well, I can't tell you too much personally, I suppose, because we haven't yet made a ground expedition to either of these places. Thurl prefers to keep to the air, and when we have no reason to land in an area, it's much safer to simply fly overhead.
Jandar, your brooch that you're wearing, what an interesting thing. Where did you get something like that? I might want to pin one of those on myself.
He kind of looks down and looks back up and he says, I couldn't tell you for sure. I can't remember when or where I got it. I probably came with the armor from wherever it was Thurl had a commission from. If you want it, and he just kind of unclips it and he hands it towards Lothar, he says, it's yours.
Well, thank you.
That is most kind of you.
Yeah.
Says, I'm not really tied to things. Here in the Spire, there's not a whole lot of room for belongings.
I do have one last question for you, and we shall let you go to your rest. These gnolls, do they seem to be coming from any particular place in the valley? So you mentioned maybe having to mount an expedition against them. Perhaps we could strike the first blow.
Says, I'm sure Thurl would greatly appreciate any sort of diminishment of their numbers. Though as to a source, so to speak, I can't say for sure. They tend to gather around the curve of the river. A lot of them tend to fish in the area when they're not fighting amongst themselves. And he kind of stands up and he goes over to the large window that's kind of behind the feast table, and he points out across the valley, roughly to the area where Rubender recovered the Manticore's head.
I'm gonna
He
get up
says,
and stand next
right
to him and
about
look at it.
there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up and go look at the window. See what he's pointing at.
All right. So he's pointing out the window. He says, roughly about there. Past where the land plateaus out and the river carries on underneath. That's where the largest number of them seem to have been gathering.
That is a most unique land formation. How the river just carves straight through it and it forms a bridge almost. Is that natural?
He shrugs his shoulders and he says, I suppose it is. I'm not much of a geologist myself. As far as I know, that's been here as long as the tower has.
What? What's a say that word you just used?
He says, I'm beginning to grow weary after a night without sleep.
So I apologize. Please go to your rest.
If there's anything wrong, come and get me. I'll make sure that it gets fixed.
And he gives a kind of exasperated sigh as he stands up from the table and he makes his way around the center spire. And shortly thereafter, you can hear a door open and close in the direction of the room that you guys had slept in.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
dang it.
Illyria, Cassie, and Mushi Bender and Lothar have just stepped out saying that they're going to go talk to and question some of the knights.
And I presume we're making our way upstairs to meet with
Sabra?
Savara.
Savra.
Savra.
Yes.
Savara. There's not 3 A's in that word.
Well, I spelt it wrong, okay?
All right, so making your way out and around, you guys get to roughly here when you see a Feathergale knight standing up by the window, pointing outwards, looking in the distance, pointing at something, as Lothar is standing next to him, and presumably Grubender's attention is also drawn to the window.
Yeah, I was over there too.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I guess we, Mushi, Illyria, and I have to go different place to find a woman.
You were told that she's upstairs.
Okay.
Seeing Gerbender and Lothar both looking out the window, I would be curious, and I am going to look out the window as well to see if I can see what they are pointing at.
Can I
Roll me a
hear what they're
perception
discussing?
check. Valeria, you can absolutely overhear their conversation as the
And
sun
why?
is
Oh
only
my
beginning
gosh.
to kind of crest
Oh,
up in the distance.
shit.
But
that's
you can
bad.
hear them talking about some gnolls and kind of their main area of activity and whether or not they kind of are originating from some source in the area and that like.
Did I, specifically, I think what I'm wondering is if I heard a certain knight mentioning. No, I guess we wouldn't have been here for that. That was earlier. We don't know that Jondar is in his room, right? Or that was his room.
Right.
Okay, we didn't hear that part. Never mind then.
But I believe you guys were told that essentially the rooms that you were going to be taking are those of the knights who are currently on watch for the night.
I'm assuming that I definitely cannot see out the window.
You can see the back of the Feathergale Knight and Lothar's backside, as well as Grubender's backside.
Ooh,
And the three of them standing
What
together
lovely rumps
are
they have.
effectively blocking the window from your view.
Okay.
Yeah, you know she's gonna be checking this out.
I want
Better
to whisper. I want to whisper to Bender. Can you have your flying creature go and check on Jondar, see if he's doing on something unnatural? He seemed quite eager, although I understand for not sleeping, quite eager to get away from us.
Oh Lord.
Well, yes. Okay.
I wasn't gonna go there, but yes.
Sorry, I was already there.
Oh lord.
All right, shall we continue on?
Yeah, let the ladies have their part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's
All
do
right.
this.
So we're going up. I don't know which way is up.
All right, 1 second.
Going upstairs.
1 second. You guys make your way up a flight of stairs.
Okay.
Illyria, when you're standing,
What?
when you're standing, the part that feels like it's pulling you, that's down. Up is the other way.
Shut up. Which door again was the locked one that I found when I was
This was the locked one that you found.
locked one? Okay. And do we know which one Savra's supposed to be in?
We really have no idea because I don't think her bender told us. He just said she's in her room. We really have no idea which one is her room.
You could always pull a me. Oh, hi, guy in the inn. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong room.
Is there supposed to be a door here, or is this a hallway still?
Circle.
It's not a very good map of the token, but there's a small round hallway just circling the kind of rock wall of the central
Oh, I see the
fire
doors.
staircase.
Okay.
It's like a landing.
Wow, those really blend in. And this is the door?
Yeah, there's essentially a door to the
This
northwest, a door to the northeast, a door to the southwest, a door to the south.
And did I look in the two that were unlocked?
You looked at the
You did.
two doors on the left side of the tower, and they were nearly identical, and they were unlocked. You didn't look in either of the doors on the right side of the tower. The top one was locked, and you didn't even try the bottom one.
Oh, I see. Why didn't I try the bottom one?
Because you were feeling lost without your thieves' tools.
Oh, thank you. That's helpful. I thought there were 3 doors, but there's 4.
There's
Okay.
I suppose we will try knocking on them.
all right. Which one would you like to knock on first?
I will go to this one. The southern east door.
All right.
She already knows where Thurl's room is, so she knows which one not to knock on.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I'm pretty
Are you
sure I went up to the
jealous?
pinnacle to look at the telescope. Thank you.
I think he's jealous.
Me
He could be.
or Gerbender.
All right. So after a moment, after Mushi knocks on this wooden door, you can hear some shuffling inside, and the door opens up, and you can see
Oh, man.
Feathergale Knights in roughly half of his armor, and he says, "Can I help you with something?"
Top half, bottom.
I apologize. I am looking for Savra's quarters.
And he points directly across the way, and he says, "I believe that's the door you're seeking." Then.
I appreciate it. I apologize. Have a wonderful morning.
And he shuts the door.
Was it top half or bottom half?
It was pieces all throughout.
Oh.
It doesn't
Where
matter.
is under your armor?
I know,
You don't
but
just slap metal on top of bare skin. Come
just
on now.
saying. Well, yeah, you know, some people have a thing.
I like that.
And I am going to walk up to meet Illyria standing next to this door. And after a moment, I am going to knock on it.
All right. Very similar scenario. You knock. After a few moments, you hear some shuffling. The door opens wide, and this blonde woman greets you. She says, "Oh, good evening. Or good morning, I suppose. How can I be of assistance?"
I don't even remember what we came up here for. I was listening to your guys' conversation.
And her gaze drifts from
Oh
Mushi
no.
to Cassie behind her to Illyria.
Have we met her before?
Yes.
You
Yes.
have, yes.
Okay.
He was the one who first let us into the castle.
Okay.
She let you into the spire and then kind of gave you like a somewhat brief tour, sat you at the feast. You guys kind of talked for a little bit. And
so
she's the one that led you down to the hippogriffs down below
So-
and kind of gave you a brief, this is how you do it speech.
So we are familiar.
So,
Do it.
so
This is how you do it. Sorry.
okay. So I guess Illyria is just gonna smile and say good morning. We were told that you might be someone to speak to if we had some questions about a symbol we've seen around here.
She says, sure, I suppose. Please come in. And she kind of ushers you guys into the room.
And I will slowly walk in. Standing close to the door, I don't like to intrude.
All right. I suppose, what part of the spire did you see this symbol in?
Lothar did tell
One
us
of the
it was on
banners?
the brooch, right?
Yeah, he said it was on the night.
Okay.
He saw people wearing it.
Oh, sorry, I'm step on you. I'm sorry.
And I'm going to dig in the pouch once again and grab this piece of paper Lothar crudely drew for me and show her with my left hand.
And so she kind of looks at it for a moment or two, and then looks back up at you guys and kind of looks to the whole group, and she shrugs her shoulders and she says, I'm sorry, who did you see this symbol on? Maybe they would be better assistant than me.
In my head, this plan worked out so much better. We saw this on at least one of your soldiers. However, we were just
And
curious.
she puts up a hand. We are not soldiers by any means.
One of your
knights.
people. Don't get my drink.
Ooh,
Is
And
that a cat?
that was a cat.
I didn't drop her. I have a box on the floor that made a sound when I put her on it. I did not drop her.
Animal
Um,
cruelty.
No.
she hands the piece of paper back towards Mushi. She says, I'm sorry. If it was a question about something you saw within the spire, I might have been more assistant, more help, but I'm afraid these knights come from all over. And when they join up, not a whole lot of questions are asked, honestly. But so if you're inquiring about a symbol upon their person, perhaps it'd be best to talk more directly with them, I suppose.
So it's not a symbol in common use here in the Spire?
Not that I've taken note of. I mean, we haven't really got ourselves a symbol to associate ourselves as the Feathergale Knights. I should probably talk to Thurl about that.
Well, thank you for your time. Can I insight check her?
Sure. All right, so she seems genuine. Like, she really doesn't know what's going on.
there anything? Can I? She was writing stuff, right? Is there anything on her desk that I might take note of?
Roll me a perception check.
Ooh, sneaky
You
eyes.
got this.
Historically great at
Oh,
these.
change your color. Change your color.
The
So-
first 2 rolls after 3 weeks. Give me a break.
That's what I'm saying.
So with
change your
Mushi and Cassie kind of standing in the way, blocking Illyria's immediate view of the desk, in these kind of relatively cramped quarters, it's harder to kind of angle yourself to get a better look at the desk. But you can see a couple of parchments, a quill, some ink. But you can't really make out like anything that might be on the letters on the parchment.
Do you think I should? I don't know. Like, let's see. If there's, can I do investigation check or history check?
What are you wanting to do a check for?
Well, thought if we look over the tables or desk, well,
If you want to roll me an investigation check to like actually browse through the papers on her desk,
No.
you can.
No.
no? Oh, okay. Okay.
She's kind of, there watching you. That might be rude.
No, I'm just curious. What are we doing? That's all. Sorry. My bad.
Could I get a better look
yes,
if
my
I
bad.
if I could get closer to her?
Awkward. Very awkward.
I'll say sure. If you can find a way to discreetly move Mushi and or Illyria, or Mushi and or Cassie out of the way.
Oh, this isn't the desk right here.
No, this is the desk.
Oh.
The one with the little book on it
Son
is
of
the
a
desk.
bitch.
This is like a dresser.
God damn it. Alright.
You investigated the dresser and found nothing.
I thought it was the desk. Okay.
However, Mushi was planning on hopefully getting a better view out of the window, seeing this is a higher story. She did want to walk across, and is this 2 different rooms, or is that a wall, like a half
Mushi
wall?
is now kind of standing in a curtain. Dividing the two.
I was right here, but let's I assume there's a window
'Cause
over
that's-
here, but is this like a half wall curtain type thing?
There's a window.
Behind her.
Okay.
There's a window there and a window there, with a curtain kind of splitting this larger room into 2.
Well, I'm going to walk across the room, and as I'm walking across the room, I'm going to exclaim about what a beautiful view she has, and how lucky she is to be on one of the higher stories to be able to see much further out and about around, so she could have better
And
perception.
I'm about to look at the view as well. With Mushi.
If they're both sufficiently distracting her, I'm gonna go to the desk and kind of discreetly.
And as Illyria is doing this, I am going to look to Savara and start a
Savra.
conversation.
I'll
Savra.
be right back. Hold on.
All right,
I'll get it
Mushi,
ready eventually.
roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, you should.
Probably, just in case.
Oh. The cat should.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, I don't think there's
Natural
anything
20!
subtle about any of this.
Natural 20!
All right, so Mushi, as you kind of
Lucky
push your
cat.
way past Cassie, stepping around the bed to this smaller window in Savra's room, you immediately draw her attention towards the window as you begin kind of talking about this view that she's got. And she turns at kind of following you towards the window as both your gazes proceed to go from the room towards the outside. She begins taking up this discussion with you. Oh, well, sometimes you're up here long enough, you forget to take note of the more subtle things like this. I suppose I am pretty lucky to get such a view to wake up to every day. In the meantime, Illyria steps up to the desk.
We are so sneaky.
We are sneaky.
And I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm kind of embarrassed myself.
We are looking out the window.
Yes, we're looking at the window.
I think Miyushi has like natural 20 on all the important, really important checks.
I would like to disagree with that because I feel like I get crap on everything.
I think she's just good at persuading these Feathergale knights
Maybe
to do
that's what it
things.
is. Maybe you should be talking to him, not me.
I do have a feather ring now, guys.
Oh, plus 10 to feather people. Got it.
So she's looking out this window, and it's almost the same kind of angle that you were looking at through the telescope, kind of in the direction of the Scarlet Moon Hall, but being a little lower and being so distant, you can't make it out from this window view. But you can see still for miles away.
Wait, was that for me or Illyria? I got
That was
distracted.
you. You're the one looking out the window.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry.
You're the one distracting.
I'm sorry. I am distracting and we were talking about this view. I apologize.
Anything else of note? Like interesting symbols or markings or anything?
So there isn't anything else. Like some of the other letters look to be more or less kind of like an inventory of what has gone in or out, like food-wise, of the place. Various meals to be prepped throughout the week, and the like.
Not gonna lie, there's probably a lot of those coming in and out now that I'm here.
Okay. And just while they're still distracted at the window, anything on this desk?
So this desk seems to be pretty empty, but
Okay.
you do see a chest beside the bed, very similar to all the other rooms. It's with all a very similar layout. And a desk, a bed, a chest, and a dresser.
While Illyria is doing this, I'm going to continue the conversation, still gazing out the window. I would like to ask you what originally brought you to this spire. I know this is your 10-year anniversary. Have you been with them this entire 10 years?
Oh no, I'm one of the newer members, really.
I'm going to be very surprised when she says that. I assumed she was higher up, seeing she was the one who opened the door and everything. And I'm going to exclaim, "Oh, really? You're newer here. I assumed you would be second in command."
Oh well, I am second in command now. Only a couple of months ago, Thurl promoted me to be his second in command. A lot of these guys aren't quite so educated, and so he believed he needed someone who's been trained, so to speak, to deal with the paperwork in order to keep track of everything that's going about here at the Spire.
Well, if you don't get the paperwork correctly, what do you have?
And she chuckles and she says, "Oh, you're being modest."
Is the chest locked?
It is not.
It's not. Oh, I want to open it quietly, really quietly.
You can do whatever you want. I am very distracting. Okay.
Brown.
You said you've been here a few months.
Quietly.
What drew you to this spire originally? I understand it's probably the tallest thing around. But what made you want to be a part of it?
Warzen's got two different things going on right now.
I hope you're being super sneaky over there.
I mean, he's so sneaky. Probably also there's a curtain.
Yes. And she says, "Well, being kind of younger than most of these other knights, I felt a bit of a sense of adventure. And this was one of the first few places that I came across when I set out on my own. And, Thurl was just so warm and welcoming that I chose to stick around a little bit longer than I had originally intended. And before I knew it, I was kind of within the flow of things here at the Spire myself. And, well, I mean, you've taken flight on the mountains yourself. It's just
It's an
welcome
exhilarating
to
experience.
there's nothing else like it.
You say you've been other places. Were they just other places, or were they areas around here? Maybe you could even point them out from such a high point.
That's nice, but is your sleight of hand that good?
My passive sleight of hand is an 18.
Okay, not as good.
That's because I didn't expertise it.
It's better than mine.
And she says, well, as far as other areas, it was absolutely nothing nearly as notable as the Spire. Though there were the occasional homestead or farm I stopped by my ways, helped to kill a goblin or two. But, it wasn't until I found the Spire until I felt like I really felt a sense of belonging here.
Sometimes it takes a while to find your calling. And I'm going to once again look out the window at the view, kind of just taking a moment to take it all in. Once again.
I think I'm still looking out the window as well.
Sorry, guys, I'm asking a lot of questions.
You're good. I'm distracting her as best I can. I'm running out of
What was
questions.
that last bit?
I don't know how to secret do these then, so do you care
Just
if I just...
Go for it.
That, and...
She found something.
Okay.
She found something. She's Illyria.
Of course
You should see her
She always
inventory.
finds
It's full of
something.
found things.
Oh yes.
What was that,
Nothing.
Ben?
Nothing.
What about my inventory?
Nothing.
Said it's full of found things.
As is everyone's, I would imagine.
I actually don't
Nope.
have anything.
Yours is definitely heavier on the things that were found than most.
Yeah, I'm poor.
Um,
I got no things.
I guess all your things fell off, didn't they?
Oh yes.
looking at Savra, did I say it right this time?
Yes.
You did. We're very proud of you.
Thank you. Finally. Do I see Illyria behind her, or there's a curtain there?
So there's
Is
a
she
current-
done with what
There's a
she's
curtain in
doing?
between us, right?
You have no idea. As far as
Okay.
Nishi knows, Hilarion is still standing, but right behind
Okay.
him, looking out
Okay.
this window.
That's perfectly fine. I'm just running out of questions, so I'm trying to make sure she's.
I
Okay.
would tell you if I'm close to being done or not, but that would be
One-
metagaming.
Oh.
No, I'm
No, I wasn't asking. I was.
No, I know.
Seeing if I could see it. I'm working hard on my metagaming. I'm trying really hard.
You're supposed to try really hard not to do it.
That's what I mean, then.
No, then we're gonna pass.
All right.
Okay. And I will look to Sabra and say, it would be truly a great honor if you wouldn't mind taking us on a tour of this canyon that we spoke of the other day. If you wouldn't be. I can't think of the word I was looking for.
Pardon my presumption, but I thought that Thurl gave you a bit of a tour of the canyon through the telescope.
He was able to show me many things, yes. However, we were hoping to get Shut up, Ben. Damn it. Many
Canyon
things.
wasn't the only thing that got checked out.
Oh my gosh.
He can show you the world.
Okay. Anyways. No, I don't remember what I was saying at all.
I told
We
you
were
what question you
saying
should ask.
Many
A
things.
3-hour tour.
Yes, we would like to have a better, closer examination, if you will. And he offered a tour for us to be able to fly around, maybe have one of your Feathergale knights take us along with him on his usual route so we could see the area. It is
And
truly exhilarating, as you said, flying on these mounts.
And she kind of nods her head, places her hands together, and she says, "Oh no, for sure, absolutely. But did you just want to fly around the canyon, or were your intentions to go further? I believe Thurl mentioned that you wanted to fly. I can't remember where he said, but further within the Desrin Valley itself.
I believe he was going to show us the Riverguard Keep along with the stone monastery.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know when you would wish to depart?
I suppose we would all sit down to breakfast, and then maybe shortly after that I wouldn't want to rush you, of course, just whenever you might have time.
Oh, no, it's no trouble at all. You should find breakfast already prepared for you at the feast hall just downstairs.
That is very kind of you. And I would like to thank you for your time once again, and I apologize for intruding.
And she gives a slight bow of her head, and she says, "Oh, please, it was no trouble at all. It was a pleasure getting to speak with you lot first thing in my morning. Really brightened my whole day."
And thank you for showing me the view. It truly is miraculous. And with that, I'm going to start heading towards the door and turn around right before I leave and say, I hope to see you at breakfast. And I will leave and start heading downstairs.
And you can hear her kind of, not so much shouting, but saying through her door, "I'll be there momentarily."
And I'm going downstairs.
All right.
Clelia just give her a little nod and a smile and head on up.
All right.
Good job!
We are so good, guys. We are so good.
All right.
Illyria's not a high fiver, but she'd totally high five you for that.
I think we need to like pat each other on the back.
Didn't you high five me? That was nice.
Nah, did we?
Yeah,
Ruby may
when I
have.
opened that safe.
Was it on purpose?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah, because I got your lockpick out.
Oh.
She really likes her lockpicks, so you're
Was
just
they
lucky.
drunk?
No.
Oh. Okay.
All right. So Lothar and Gerbender,
Mm.
you guys are presumably still staring out this window when you hear the doors open behind you, and three other members of your party.
No, all that time that they were up there, I would have gone back to the table to eat.
I don't think it took that long.
It really wasn't that long. It was essentially what was happening
Time.
while you guys were talking with Jandar.
It was simultaneously.
Jandar.
You didn't realize it.
Jaundice.
Janda, the necromancer. Because he was a guy in Diablo.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
Stay a while.
I was like, who's John Dog?
Yeah, every time you say Jandar, I hear it in the voice of the Templar from Diablo 3.
Oh yeah, that was John.
That was the
wasn't
guy
it?
that he wanted to kill.
Yep.
And he's
Who had like the bone
"Jandar."
fence.
Every time I hear Diablo 3, I hear Decker Kane.
Stay a while and listen.
I'm Decker Kane. Stay a while.
Decker
and
Kane
listen.
dies in like the first 20 minutes.
Yes. I made a lot
Okay.
of characters. Anyway.
Well, it's breakfast time.
We're the Breakfast Club now.
Yes,
Breakfast.
I'm gonna have sushi at breakfast.
I'm not sure that's a very good breakfast food.
So the three women enter this feasting room once again, and they find both Grubender and Lothar back into the food.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I would
morning.
not recommend the